Cool. We ready to go? Everyone
Yep.
recording? Everyone's clapped? Awesome. Gals and gamers, buds and besties, welcome back to Working Title, Pop Tropicast. Today, joining me as usual is Mizan, also known as Nazim. You know, kicking it old school style on Pop Tropica, the one playing the game as per usual. And you got me, Mild. You can call me Mason. Also, as usual. And joining us today for the first time is Brent Bronze of Philo fame. Why don't you say hello, Brent?
Hello, hello. Yeah, I am brentbronze, affiliated with Philo. I'm a part of that collective label. Also, one half of the Tomorrow People.
Exactly, and that's what he's here to talk about today. We already, unfortunately, we recorded this episode previously with the other half of the, well, Cerberus has 3 heads, so I can't use that analogy. The other half of Tomorrow People was here previously to record an episode about Tomorrow People, but unfortunately, technical difficulties happened. We lost the audio. It is what it is, but now we have Brent Bronze here to talk about the same but different. Getting into questions, if you don't mind, the thing I was always most interested in was the first song you guys made in the album. What would that be? What was the first song that you guys made in the album that started the Tomorrow People?
All right, so this is kind of interesting. The first song that we made was Hello World, which is the first song on the tape. We had actually been floating around the idea of making a collaborative tape for a long time, like 3 months after we met. So this has been in the making, or at least has been a concept for about a year now. And the first song we ever did together was actually a remix of MF Doom, J Dilla's beat Lightworks. And if you know that song, then you know the beginning. It has this lady in the beginning, or this man in the beginning says, "We are the Tomorrow People." That's where the name comes from. And that's kind of what began our journey. But for this specific tape, Hello World was the first song that we made. He asked me one night, hey, like when we make this tape, I want it to be sparse but hard hitting. And that night, I made that beat. And that beat happened in one night. I made my verse the next day. He had a demo take of his verse within the week, and the song was basically complete. You can still hear parts of his demo verse in the final cut. But that was over 7 months ago at this point.
All right, so
Okay, that's
when
actually
Go ahead.
that's
No, go
crazy
ahead.
because one of the things I really wanted to ask you about with the first track, Hello World, like the after the first after the first 30 seconds or so, you have Norma Winstone's Timeless Place. You sampled that, right, to start the actual track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely loved how you sampled that, and I wanted to know, like, one, how the fuck did you find that? Like, where do you go to find shit like A Timeless Place by Norma Winstone? And like, what's the process of taking that and sampling it into the actual beat?
All right. So the process is kind of different for me every time because I let the sample itself guide me and I let the elements of the sample guide me. But in terms of digging for samples, I have a few different avenues. Every now and then there's a half price books where I live, and sometimes they sell really cheap vinyl. And it's usually in the cheap vinyl where you will find stuff that people have returned or stuff that people never bought. And that stuff, it's not that it's ever bad music, it's just been overlooked, and you can definitely repurpose that. For a sample like that, my entire idea was that I wanted something that felt continuous but off. The entire concept of like Hello World and even Tomorrow People as a whole kind of hinges on this idea that, we're very invested in changing reality. So having things be off kilter but still kind of familiar was a huge thing for me when I was producing and when Chef was commenting and helping me with the producing because he was very involved in the production process.
All right, so you said Sorry, I got something caught in my throat there. You said you liked letting the sample guide the beat, right? Do
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
have we covered this briefly in the last thing, and this is significantly earlier than we covered it last time, but I gotta know why you just had the FNAF sample on hand.
Are you talking about Hello Hello?
Yes, I am talking
Yes.
about Hello Hello.
So, yes, I did actually. And the reason why is because about a year ago, um, because I've been making beats since ninth, 10th grade.
Awesome.
Um,
And how old are you now?
and now I'm 19. I'm out of
Right.
high school, right? It's been a long time. It's been like six,
Yeah,
7 years.
solid 4. Oh, okay, 6-7 years, perfect.
Oh yeah, I think I
Yeah,
did the math
I'd say
wrong.
that's
I've been
enough time to
producing.
be proficient.
Yeah. But there was one thing that I never had, and it was a producer tag. So I'd make all types of different beats. I'm that kind of guy. I want to be able to do whatever I want. So try to have a bunch of different styles.
Yeah,
Um, and because of that, I never felt like I needed a producer tag because like I feel like that signifies to someone that it's a type of beat. You know, like that. Oh, that's a burnt bronze type of beat. No, it's not. There's no such thing. I mean, I have songs, but like I don't want to be put in a box, you know. Um,
gotcha. And by
and
producer tag, you
I
mean like the sample that producers will play on their beat to simplify
that it's
or
their beat,
signify
yeah.
that it's their beat,
Metro
right?
Boomin wants
Yeah,
some more. You get it.
yeah, yeah.
I promise this is
TK,
going. Yep.
etc.
I promise this is going somewhere. One
You're
night
all good.
in a group chat that me and Chef and a bunch of our friends are in, one of my friends, his name is William. He was like, you know, Brent, you could use the hello hello as a beat tag, and we laughed at that for like 30 minutes straight. And I actually did it on a beat that I just had on hand. So I downloaded it off the internet, and it's been sitting in my sample folder since. And I was like, yeah, this is a good time to use it.
Yeah, yeah. There's always a good time, you know. Are you planning on using FNAF as a recurring thing, or is this a one time? This is one time hello hello, or is it just
I
when it feels right you may use it again?
This is probably a one time, but
Awesome.
I can never make any promises because uh, there is something to be said about the effects of having something catch you off guard like that. Because
Yeah, you know.
everybody knows hello, hello. So
Yeah,
hearing it in
I
a
mean, yeah.
song,
The words that you used last time is it awakens a lost memory. It evokes a specific emotion that is so rare. It's not nostalgia. It's the feeling of you. God, I sound like a fucking shitty viral Twitter post, but it's the feeling when you go outside and then your brain associates the air quality of the day with some fucking random March day in third grade in a completely different part of town in a completely different period of your life, but you just associate this thing with something else because of the way your brain is wired, right? Like when I watched through all of Psych, the USA show, when I watched through it the first time, I did it while playing a Minecraft Hexit world. And now when I rewatch the show, I have visions of the fucking world I was playing at the time and just parts of the world, the mountain I lived on, etc. So like the associative the brain learning to associate sounds, sights, smells, feelings with other things, that emotion, that feeling that happens from just a fucking shitty near flash game that became one of the most iconic horror franchises of our generation, just using that in a song that like everyone knows what it is and what it's from, is just so just like it just catches you off guard in the best way possible.
yeah, absolutely. And for me, music is about the emotion that you elicit. Like
Yeah.
I love rapping. I love making wordplay and punchlines and being heady and talking about stuff that you won't hear in like a pop song necessarily, that you usually won't. Um, but I am hyper aware of how music has made me feel throughout my life. To your point, sometimes I hear specific songs and I get hyper specific memories. Whenever I hear the song, I Think I'm Falling in Love, uh, off of Igor, right, by Tyler the Creator, I think of the first date I ever went on with my ex-girlfriend, because that's what was playing in the car. And I can remember it and see it so vividly when that song is playing. It is,
Yeah.
and it's just like that. Sometimes sounds and smells and sights can trigger something hyper specific. Um, and it's just a cool effect to have. And obviously, hello, hello means something to everybody. That's our age.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's one of those things where I remember in high school and middle school and now me and friends will just make the hello hello joke to each other. We will randomly quote that specific line to each other at the most random times, fucking not just because random equals funny, it's because like that is just associated with
Yeah.
other things. And it's like one of those things where someone will say hello and then someone else will go hello hello and that's it. Like that's it. There's no
That's
joke,
the
there's
joke.
no punchline. It's just that's yeah. I mean that is the joke. Like there's nothing broader to it. It's just something we all know. And it feels different than normal just, the joke is reference. It's just one of those things that is so large to our generation that I don't even like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I don't even fuck with it like that. I physically can't play it because horror games fuck with my brain in a way that make me physically tense and give me back problems. So like I can't even fucking play it. So like it's not like something that I'm even that invested in. It's just something that hit everybody.
Yeah.
But,
It's my last thing to say about it is that, in that song is the Tomorrow interlude. That entire song is, to me, like, it's about just twisting things that you've already heard before. That's why there's a Jay-Z sample. There's a sample that MF Doom famously used. There's verses off of the South Side. It means something in the context of the album. But like, if you listen to that song, it's very clearly about just like being weird, but like in a fun way,
Yeah.
almost in a random way, almost in a funny way. That's why it's an interlude. That's why it's a minute and a half long, and it's not an actual song.
Yeah. Uh, do you have a favorite song on the album? And not only that, is your favorite song the song you're most proud of, or is there a different song you're more proud about?
Okay, so the song that I'm most proud of is probably Return, the last song, but it is not my favorite song.
Okay.
And my favorite song is, I'm gonna say Execute.program, because
All right.
I think like the proficiency of the rapping on it is just like, that is me and Chef, that is like our synergy at its top level. And whenever I listen to that song, it just goes so crazy. Plus the sample flip, the beat switch. I think that's not a song I would listen to that often necessarily, but that's a song that I would personally rate the highest out of the album.
Gotcha. My personal favorite was Coma Theory. I don't know why. That's the one I think I'd recommend to someone, because obviously this album is very clearly made to be listened to all the way through in one sitting, and you can tell that's what the intention was. That's why you use the sample at the beginning of the first song and at the end of the last song. That's why the song is made like that. That's why the songs are structured like that. That's why the album is placed with these songs in the specific order. But but I talked about this last time, of course. I think Coma Theory is the most accessible in terms of just showing to someone one song from the album. I think Coma Theory is a very good song. Just they don't have the 20 minutes. I think it's 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's 19 minutes and 1
19
second.
minutes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. They don't have 19 minutes and 1 second to spend on a. They don't have that they don't have that the time to spend right then there, but they do have 3 minutes to listen to a song or whatever the exact runtime of Coma Theory is, and I think that's the song that like I think that is the song if I showed someone, that's the one they'd want to come back for. That feels like the one they'd want to come back. They'd want to come back and listen to the album. That feels like the song that would be like, oh, I fuck with this artist. I got to listen to their other shit.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm glad you said that. It's hard. It is like picking a child, right? Like that classic one, like picking a child, because
I mean, everybody has their favorite child, though. They can't front about it. You got a favorite sibling.
No.
You got a favorite nephew.
I only have one sibling personally, so I don't have to choose.
Well, then you got a favorite sibling. It's pretty easy.
I do. That's true. That's true. It doesn't violate the law. But I genuinely think almost all of the songs on the tape are around the same level in one way or another. I think they're very different, so they're going to appeal to people differently, but they're all very good. Coma Theory was one, I don't know if you know this, but me and Chef both made that song thinking we're not entirely sure how people are going to like this. That was the song we were worried about. That one and Return .0. We were thinking, this one might not go over as smoothly. But with some hindsight, I can see that Coma Theory's like sparseness, the groove of the sample and the bass, the 808 bass that hits on the one every time, like that's classic. That's hip hop.
I love that.
Yeah.
I personally like to the point of like wanting to be able to listen to the album fully through. It was very simple, like what you did between Coma Theory and X3, that transition you made. It's a somewhat simple thing, but it's something I really enjoyed in my listen through.
Yeah, that's the kind of detail oriented stuff that Chef is good at, because that's not something that I necessarily focus on usually, the flow of an album as much. But it's something that I'm learning from him. But that one specifically was his idea. Not the exact sounds that was made, but he found the sample that transitioned. And then he was like, do you think you could chop this up to transition and make sense? And I was like, sure. And so that little doop, 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 that's where that comes from.
Right.
It's very simple. It's literally just a distorted, high-pitched 808 hit. But I think it connects the songs in a very real way.
Yeah, no, for sure. On the point of like being able to like you have Chef help you out and be a resource. Last week when we were talking to Chef, he kind of explained the Philo was like he joined the group because he felt he could supply his writing skill, but he didn't feel like he had a lot of beat making skill, but he was able to lean on you guys and have you guys as support for like beat making and record making. Was that something you would agree on? How would you feel like about it?
When it comes to Philo, I mean, we are a team, really. There's 3 producers in Philo, and 5 rappers.
Supply and demand.
Yeah, really. And all of the producers can rap, but not all of the rappers can produce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, that doesn't mean that we don't want them there or that their writing skill doesn't add to the synergy of the group. I think Chef personally is the best writer in Philo, which I'm glad he's there. When it comes to producing, I'm not going to say who I think the best is because we all sound so different in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you can hear the difference in production from Southside to Tomorrow People to the new song for Philo Fridays. Fucking like to make it like you can hear the difference in production, even like because I believe the new song "Make It" is produced by the same person who produced Southside, correct?
Absolutely, yeah, by Tico.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Shout out Tico, one of the greatest producers you've never heard of.
Yeah, I did listen to it right before we recorded, and it is a bop.
Yeah,
I did really enjoy it. Yeah,
I'm gonna listen to it a few more times before I put my final thoughts on it. Same way I gotta view the Batman 8 times before I give a final score. I already seen it twice. Gotta see it a billion more times before.
I'm gonna see it Sunday. I expect it to be great.
Dude, it is probably the best I think it's the best comic book movie that's been made. in a long time.
I believe it.
It's top 3 in my opinion. Batman is not top 10 characters to me at all. Like, I don't like Batman like that. Batman's not even top 10 favorite superheroes for me. It's the best comic book movie.
That's high praise, and I'm glad to hear it, because we've been needing a really good one.
Because it's a movie first, but it also, like, you can tell that they love the source material.
Yeah. If there's any problem with comic book movies, it's that they can tend to feel like an event rather than a movie. But back to the music before we get super sidetracked.
Back before we start talking about the score of the Batman.
Literally.
Going back to the music, we were talking about Philo. We were talking about how you guys compliment each other, how you guys bounce off each other. How, like, the easiest way to describe it is like it's one of those things where you could make it individually without the rest of Philo. Each of you individually could make it. You could all do your own thing. But working together is not only easier, but more fun, and you have so much more creative ability because you have that people you're not only close with, but people you are able to work with. And I guarantee, like, you're not gonna lie to each other. You're not gonna say, yeah, that beat is not as good as the other beat. That beat doesn't work here. That verse doesn't work here. You guys are gonna be honest to each other because you guys are all attached to the same name anyway. So if Philo dropped a bad song, everybody in Philo knows Philo dropped a bad song. And I don't see you guys dropping a bad song anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't see us doing that either, because to be quite honest, we, at least me and Chef aren't super afraid of sometimes being kind of critical and saying, hey, maybe this needs some work, maybe it doesn't. The members of Philo, they go Brent Bronze, me, right? It goes Chef, Tico, Dez, which featured on Make It, and O2 Lean, which, though you may not heard much of them, he's released a solo project out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp called Grunt Mentality, which showcases his remix and production. And once you hear it, you're going to realize how versatile Philo actually can get, because he sounds nothing like me or Tico in like a completely different dimensional axis. Philo is just, to me, Philo is, we're a group of friends, and we're there to bounce ideas off each other and to be honest with each other about our music. And if you like the music, making the music is going to be fun. And so that's been the goal, to just make good and fun music. At least as
group. One does. We already brushed over it a little bit, but I want to circle back around and talk. You talked about how the sample builds the beat, right? You let the sample guide you to the beat, right? Do you ever just have an idea for a beat and then just go to find a sample you have, or is it almost always, here's a sample I like and I know what I'm about to do, and you just let it flow?
So I'm not entirely a sample-based producer, so sometimes what'll happen is that I'll have an idea for a song or a beat, and I'll just make it, no samples. So I will say, make it. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Hey, you said the name of the movie in the movie.
Literally. So when it comes to me with samples, I'll hear a sample and it'll click. It'll make a sound in my head almost. It feels like a pop, where it's like, I can loop this. I can put some drums over it or not. I can put some keys over it or not. And this can be rapped over. This can be listened to, appreciated as its own piece of music when it's taken out of the context of the entire song. If you listen to the end of Hello World, you'll hear some synths behind it. The drums pop in. There's a triangle. It sounds way more like a normal song. And that's because the way that I produced it first, the end was the first thing I did. But knowing that me and Chef were going for a way more sparse atmosphere, he was like, take away pieces of that. And I was like, I know exactly what you mean. And so then you end up with the main skeleton of the beat. It's so skeletal. It's basically just the sample and a tambourine that basically acts like a metronome. And so sometimes you can overdo a beat, and that's kind of what I did, but I left it at the end because I think it kind of opens up the whole soul of the project to make it sound like, okay, yeah, this is something epic happening. But yeah.
No, I fuck with that. I like the I like the basis. I very much enjoy good samples. I'm not a cartoon sample skipper. If I'm listening to MF Doom, I'll listen to the cartoon. I don't care if it's 2 minutes. I don't care if it's 3 minutes. We listen to the cartoon in this house.
Yeah.
If I've got the aux, the cartoon is not getting skipped.
The first 2 minutes of beef rap, we are listening to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I need food. Yes, you do.
Exactly.
One thing that reminds me of is Return Zero. I think it was Return Zero, where you have the clip from There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. Yes.
Yeah. First of all, so you in the clip when the guy talks about taking the milkshake straw across the room, he harmonizes with the actual backtracking song, doesn't he?
A little bit.
Right. So walk me through hearing him sing like that, and then also kind of syncing it up with the backtrack song. Like what?
So okay. So Return Zero was definitely the most involved song on the album, in a lot of ways. But having that happen, that specific moment, it was kind of an accident. What basically happened is that I was searching for good parts of that sample to layer underneath the movie, and I was just looking around and I was like, wait. And I sung the notes to myself, across, and then it's like, I forget exactly what he says under it because it's been like a couple days since I've fully listened through, and I don't listen to Return Zero on a daily basis because it's a 6-minute song with a movie sample in the middle that's a minute long.
Yeah, for sure.
And I enjoy my abstract music, but that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But that one was kind of a happy accident. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that I'm like some type of extreme musical genius who knew exactly what I wanted with that point.
Okay. Really, before I really want to get what is this backtracking song? Because the guy sounds amazing, and I really just want to hear it on its own.
I can send you a link after, but the song is it's a song from I believe it's called the Julius Brockus Ensemble. It's a gospel song.
Okay,
and
yeah,
it's
for
called
sure.
Light of My Soul, right? And I love that sample. When I heard it, the start of the sample is the start of the song. It's the part with no drums where we're just kind of like spoken word rapping slightly. It's so beautiful. That part especially. The start, Jesus is the King. Me and Chef would just sing that to each other before it came out for
I've literally put the first couple seconds of Return Zero on repeat just to hear the guy.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Light of My Soul.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. I know you've kind of talked about how the process of you getting digging up things to sample and is different each time. But how much time would you say you spend actually digging versus sampling it and producing it into a beat?
So this is actually kind of interesting to me personally because I actually spend a lot of my time digging, or I used to, but I don't anymore. And the reason why is because one of my main avenues for doing that was YouTube and the YouTube recommended system, which I know that's not something you expect to hear, but when you show the algorithm that you have an interest in obscure songs, by God, it will give you some obscure songs.
Oh, yeah. No, my roommate does the exact same thing. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I have a separate YouTube account that I have set just for weird YouTube videos that I don't want to bloat my actual main algorithm.
Yeah, it's
I
actually
had that for weird shit.
It's a crazy powerful tool.
It is. It is. You say what you will. Like obviously the TikTok algorithm is stronger, but like some of the algorithms are very much useful. If I could fucking make an algorithm just to like be able, I could just plug in. Like imagine there was an algorithm that was Google. You could just look up a thing and it'll give you a bunch of that thing. But it's an idea. It's a theme. It's a similarity. It's not just, oh, I want fucking Google image search fucking FNAF hello guy, and then you gotta like just sift through that until you find the one you want.
It's no, because
if you could get a search engine that was searching for an algorithm style, that would be like world altering.
Yeah, because I mean, really what it's doing is it's abstracting the concept, right? And it's taking, like, you're right, the ideas from the actual object or the content, and that's what you're looking for more than the actual search query. And when it comes to music, what that ends up being is it, instead of being like, you get your hyper specific genres in order, basically. So like obscure freeform jazz all the way down to like 1970s like broken down gospel discs, right? And that's where it starts for me when it comes to samples, or where it used to. Because it's so much in my page now, I will listen to a song basically. Sometimes let it go on autoplay, and I have an entire playlist dedicated to it that as of now is over 450 videos long.
Jesus. Wow. Holy shit.
And so sometimes...
That's a lot of videos.
Yeah, when I'm at work, and it's all good music, right? So when I'm at work, I'll listen to the music like regular music. I will shuffle that entire library. I call it a sampling library. That's what the playlist is called. And I will see how much I enjoy the song, if there's any parts that I'd like to sample in it, whether that be a drum break, whether that be a bass line, or just the entire wholesale piece of music, like 15 seconds. And that's where I find the time there. When it comes to producing, it depends, because we're making the beats for this album was really not easy, but really quick, you know. As I said, I made the Hello World beat in basically a day. I made the Coma Theory beat in 6 hours.
Damn.
Because that beat it has a lot of it doesn't have a lot of parts. It's basically like the sample you hear during the verses. Actually, depending on how you say start a beat, it could have taken months, because Chef one day sent me a viral video of a pastor with nothing to do with Tomorrow People. And he was like, wouldn't it be funny if we sampled this pastor going, wake up, you know? And I was like, yeah, that would be funny. Never got around to it. When I finally did, it took 3 hours, and we were already in the process of the album. Yeah. And he didn't even have anything to say about that beat. He was like, this is basically perfect. Like it fit the vibe that well.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. Is, do you think the brewing process is included in the creative process? There's times where I write video essays. I am a dog shit director, so I haven't published any of them because I just don't know how to direct it myself, and that's something I practice. But I write a lot of video essays, so I have a lot of things I like talking about. I have a separate like Google Doc account just called Mildly Ranting, because I rant about things. I can talk for about the dumbest shit for hours. I have literally for 3 hours straight nonstop talked about fucking the difference in Taco Bell sauce packets. Like, I can just rant about shit, and it's something I very much enjoy, and it's why I got into content creation in the first place, is because I think ranting is fun, and having a persona of just ranting is something that, like, if you do it right, there's a huge market for it, you know? Yeah. But just making the video essay itself was something I never was able to get around to until more recently. I've been trying to workshop shit, you know, in the works. Stay tuned, etc. But I'll have an idea. I have video essay like that are the scripts is literally just the title and a sentence. I don't think I've started working on it yet. It's just there. Eventually, something will come from it. There are video essay scripts that I have, which I'm using like writing as an an equivalation. Of course, it's not the same. It's not the same. They're not analogous.
It's not the exact same, but there's a reason they call it songwriting. Yeah. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But like I have a script that was 80% finished, and now I took one paragraph from it and was like, wait, this could be its own thing. And I basically scrapped the 80% finished one to use to make into its own thing about something completely different. And like, so like, does that count as it's been in the fucking, like where does the songwriting process begin? Where does the video essay writing process begin? Where does it start? Where does it end? What is the official birth? Like, you know what I mean? It's like fucking, how long you been cooking this baby for? Is it from when you nut, or is it from when the sperm reached the egg?
Yeah, and it really depends on how much of that idea do you want, how much of the origin of the idea do you want to include as the idea, I think is basically the question. Because there have been times where I have an entirely different beat or a different song idea, and I'll just take one line and it becomes its own thing. That was kind of the idea for the Tomorrow interlude, at least at the beginning. The beginning of the Tomorrow interlude is a sample from one of my own songs, right? And that song is called Tears in the Smile, and it goes, like, there's tears in my smile, da da bum bum bum. I'm sick, so don't judge, but
yeah, you're all good.
Fuck it.
If I can't sing, so problem solved, Anything's better.
If you listen to the beginning of the Tomorrow interlude, it's actually Chef on the vocals, and he doesn't sound too great, but that's on purpose. Of that song. But if you had listened to my album, you would know that. And I consider that as the beginning of the idea of the Tomorrow interlude. Because what happens directly after is that I chop up that sample of my own song, I make it real loud, put some 808s, and then boom, it transitions and you hear hello, hello, and there's a beat that I never released. Technically for Tomorrow interlude, you could say that has been in the making for 2 years, because there's a beat in there that I made 2 years ago. But it's I think it's really up to the artist to define, because it's about when did you start conceptualizing that idea as its own thing.
I got you. Nazim, you have to put the trash can on the ridge you're sitting on. You just launch it from the fucking
How do I get it up here, dude?
You use the seesaw. You were on the right track. You just kept
I know,
fucking
but
it up.
I've done this so many times.
Jump from the tree.
That. Yeah,
Jump from the tree.
Potential energy, dog.
Fuck me, man. Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah. Thesius.
I don't know how. This is how I failed physics last year.
There you go. Yeah, no, you just jump from the top of the tree. It's okay. We can't all be goated at children's video games.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
that's
okay.
why I play
I was just
Melee,
like,
right?
it's a 90-minute podcast, we gotta fucking we gotta keep it rolling.
I've been on this for like 20 minutes, dude.
You have. I've been like watching in the background, just like
I got other shit done.
I know. You went and did other puzzles. Nothing can be as embarrassing as the bobbing for apples incident, okay? And you're lucky that it won't be released.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna salvage that. I'm gonna salvage it. We're gonna
no, you're
post
not, because you don't have the video. I do, and I'm gonna delete it off Google Drive.
All right, well, I'm gonna go to your house. I'm in your walls, bozo.
I'm breaking my computer.
You said you play
walls.
Melee, Brent?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh,
chained to the game.
Oh boy,
Heyo.
You guys really are the same, huh? Middle name users, Melee players. Who do you play?
I play Falco and Marth.
Okay.
Oh, so he's that cringe guy. Okay.
He's that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Hey man,
listen. Which one's your primary?
That's PPMD. All right.
Okay,
legendary.
Mr. Nanny. Okay.
Which one's my primary? I'd say that.
I guess which one do you think you're a little bit better with? You got to be a little bit better with one of them.
I think I'm a little bit better with Marth, but I've been like a Marth loyalist
It's
for
because
far
Marth is
too
that much
long.
easier. It's because Marth is that much easier. Anyways,
Marth is easier. I'm not
okay.
gonna lie. Marth's way easier, but I've also been playing Marth since I was like 11 in
Gotcha.
like Brawl.
Gotcha, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. See, fucking, I'm just like, fuck it. I want Ultimate Falco in a better game. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah, Ultimate Falco's
Drag
really
down
fun.
characters are so sick, but fucking 6 frames of base delay is not my cup of tea.
No, you're definitely playing a game that's like stuck in molasses, and I have like probably 1,000 hours in Ultimate.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
God.
as many hours in Ultimate as I do in, I think, Rivals, and it's fucking.
That is
it's
insane
like,
to think to
man.
me.
Yeah, because Rivals is my
Yeah.
main game, and I have as many
Yeah.
hours in Ultimate as Rivals. Well, I mean, like, Ultimate was my first platform fighter, so I played it, and that was it. And I would
Yeah.
just play against level 9 CPUs.
You
for
don't know any
a
better,
fucking
you know?
million hours. And then I learned that fucking, the games aren't supposed to feel like this. You want to know what's even what's even more insane?
What's up?
Playing because of the barrier of entry of tech skill. I thought Melee was slow when I played it afterwards. When I played Ultimate first, because like I played Brawl as a kid, I beat Subspace Emissary and shit. But I was you use B moves, and that's how
Yeah.
you play the game. So I didn't actually like play semi seriously, like, you know, 1-on-1 legal stages only, items off. I didn't do that until literally high school, which with Ultimate, right? Like I was fucking like fucking. I think Ultimate came out 2018.
Yeah,
my
2018.
junior year. Yeah, my junior year. It came out my junior year, beginning of my senior year. Wait, it came out the end of 2018, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it came out during my senior year. It came out my senior year.
Did
Did
I just soft lock myself?
I don't know what you did.
Why
I think you
can't
just
I
have to
get
go into
down?
one of the windows at the top. You beat it and you just didn't go into the window.
Yeah, you just
Um,
dropped back
Yeah,
down.
you definitely just you just
Could've
go into one of the
sworn I
windows.
couldn't go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. For my hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay.
The
Okay.
one that says enter. You got you have a real problem with that, man. Every episode it's you just holding down the mouse button the whole time, so you don't get to see the cursor change to enter or activate or use. All of it is just you just being impatient.
All right. What were we talking
But,
about?
we were
okay,
talking
well-
about we went from music to fighting games, fucking sorry party games. We were talking about Smash.
Yeah,
My bad.
party
yes,
games,
yeah,
okay.
party games.
Party games. But yeah, going back to the fucking we here. Let's set a segue up, guys. Ready? Okay. Isn't it crazy how you play party games with groups of people? Say, Brent, you're in a music group called Philo. What's that like?
Sure am. It's it can be amazing, honestly. For when we first envisioned this whole Philo Fridays thing, it was a chef idea. Make It has actually been in the making for over 6 months. T, that's what we call Tico. T produced that track
Yeah.
and put it in the chat, and I'm kind of known for writing a verse and recording it fast. So back in September 23rd, I sent that verse that you hear in the track back. And it took basically until last month to get Chef's verse on it, and like a week and a half ago to get Dez's verse on it.
Gotcha.
And would you believe that there are like 15 other tracks that have like Chef vocals, Brent vocals, Dez vocals that are just in limbo, that are just probably not going to come out for a while?
You telling me working in a group setting where everyone has drastically different schedules makes it weird and sometimes difficult to consistently get one thing done at once? That's crazy.
It sure does. It's so crazy.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it wouldn't-
I never
mean,
would have guessed.
You would think that everybody would just have like some type of happy ending or something, like real life.
Yeah.
But no, all jokes aside, it is really fun. Everybody there is very creative. They're also my friends. They're funny people. They're nice people. And it's just a good place to be. Tico has some of the most like elegant sample choices I've ever heard in my life. He doesn't usually do that much to the samples, or if they do something to the samples, it's subtle but really cool and really good. Um one of Make It is one of my favorite beats that they ever produced. To me, that sounds like late registration era Kanye. You know, it's
It does.
soaring.
It does. That was the first thing I thought of.
It's so victorious. It kind of sounds like Touch the Sky, but like in a really good way, not like in a copying way.
I mean, yeah, you can have inspirations for things, right? Like going back to the video essay analogy. I'm very clearly inspired by 3 specific video essayists / commentary creators, right? Like you can tell where the inspiration and the editing style comes from. You can tell where the joke style comes from. And I think that's how a lot of people comes from. And it's not always a bad thing. There are directors from movies that will take things from from previous directors and put their spin on it. A lot of people have their inspiration, but there's also bad ways to do it. I'm not going to name drop, but I'm sure there's movies you've seen recently where you realize that the director's entire style is doing things that other people did, but not getting why they did it. You know, like you've seen that people can do the same thing with music. If you there's a difference between taking something from something else and using it because you understand why you're using it, and just taking the thing and doing it, but you don't get why it was done. You don't get the heart of it.
Yeah, there's a really palpable difference between someone who is doing something for the sake of the music or for the sake of the content, for the sake of the craft, to make it better, and someone who's using a technique simply because they can.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it also boils down to it being actually good, you know? It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, why would I listen to this? I can go listen to Late Registration. It's, oh, this shit fucks. More stuff like Late Registration, which hasn't been a thing since 2008.
Yeah,
Like,
it's that too, because Late Registration came out like in I think 808s and Heartbreaks came out in 2008. Then it was, before that it was Graduation, which was I think 2006, 7. So Late Registration is almost 20 years old at this point. Came out in like 2005.
Wait, Late Registration came out after 808s?
No, before.
Oh, okay. I misheard you then. Okay, I was gonna say, yeah. I'm looking it up right now. Late Registration came out in 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
Was it his first album? I can't remember if Late
Second.
Registration or College Dropout came out. It was College Dropout, then Late Reg, right?
Yeah, it
Cool. That's what I thought.
Late Registration was his second album.
Cool.
It's just like, to us, we've talked about it within Philo. We're kind of like not necessarily bringing life to an older style, but artists that have inspired us, we're kind of trying to capture some of that energy that it gave us, you know?
Yeah.
But put our own spin on it, usually, of course. Because, I mean, if you listen to Make It, you realize very quickly that none of us rap like Kanye. You know?
Yeah. I don't think Kanye doesn't even rap like Kanye anymore, you know?
God. We can save our comments on how Kanye raps nowadays for another time, because
he's a producer now. He's not a rapper.
Man, he be rapping off a beat sometimes nowadays. Like, come on, man.
It's an artistic choice.
Like it's and I'm not even a new Kanye hater. I'm not even a new Kanye hater.
I think Donda. I still haven't listened to Donda 2 yet, but Donda Deluxe is in my top 5. Like, I really love Donda.
I love a lot of Donda. I liked a lot of I love Kids See Ghosts. The Life
Kids
of
See Ghosts is in my top 3.
Yeah. The Life of Pablo is probably one of my favorite albums that came out during my high school career. I still put that on today, and it just, so many different soundscapes. I think that's a genius album, and that did not come out that long ago.
I have not listened to all of Life of Pablo.
And that's fine.
I just have never sat down and done it. Not even because I don't like it, just because I never sat down and did it. I did not grow up on Kanye. I knew Kanye songs, and I have a friend who is really into Kanye. Funnily enough, I did a music presentation in my senior year for humanities class on Kanye West with my friend who was really into Kanye West, and I had never listened to a single Kanye West song besides Stronger and
maybe Heartless.
And no, Gold Digger. Gold Digger and Stronger were the only Kanye songs I knew. And I did an entire presentation with him on Kanye, just fucking, talking out of my ass. And then Donda came out, and I was like, all right, I'll fucking, you know what, I'll just listen to it. Or like Donda was about to come out, right? He was doing the touring shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll give it a listen. And I just listened in order. And I think the only, out of the first, like, I listened all the way up to Yeezus. And I just never got to Life of Pablo. Like, I finished Yeezus. And the only album that I really didn't like that much was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I don't know why it was. I know
awesome
it's a very
take.
hot take.
Nope.
I know it's
awesome take.
What?
Based
awesome
take. Epic take.
Okay, because I know it's a hot take because I know
words.
everyone fucking loves it. But like, I don't know, something like none of it was just so different, and like it just wasn't what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Here's
like I can't even describe it. It's just like, oh, this isn't for me.
This is how I'll describe it. Kanye's whole career, he's been making music for people, not necessarily how people wanted it. My Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy is Kanye trying his hardest to make what people think that they want. And for some people,
yeah, that's his pop album.
Yeah, literally. I mean, like,
I'm
it's
not even
so
a pop
grand.
hater, but yeah, I was like, it was too broad.
I am a pop lover. My top artists are literally like the greatest pop artists like that you hear, like Stevie Wonder and like Prince and MJ. Like and I think like the songwriting in pop is like, it's really sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they get like that. There's a reason they get those numbers. There's a reason.
Exactly.
Like at the end of the day, like, fucking say what you will, people like dog shit stuff all the time, right? Like people, like fucking millions of people sat through every episode of Glee. People like bad things, and not for like,
absolutely.
It like people can enjoy bad things, but not every popular thing is bad, and not every popular thing is good. There's a middle ground, and media literacy is dead, but fucking. But just in general, like, there's a reason things get popular, at least at the beginning. Like, popular things can fall off because they start only having yes men, but things get popular for a reason.
Usually, yeah, like 99%
the Phase
of the time.
1 MCU movies were phenomenal, and were all different.
Way
Say what you
different
will about
from
it now.
anything that was there.
Say what you will about it now, but Iron Man 1 was a fucking movie. That was a film. Like fucking,
and
it was really good. It is really good still. It
is
holds up.
really good. And I mean, everybody talks about like how Robert Downey Jr. played the character, but like it's kind of like a meme in a way now, but he really played the hell out of Tony Stark. Especially,
I mean, he
in that
played
first
him
movie.
so hard that like it changed the character. Like, unfortunately, it set a precedent where the movies changed the comics, but that specific instance was good. It was a good change. It was a good direction, making him more like Robert Downey Jr. Like it became one of those things where it was like Robert Downey Jr. was just Tony Stark. He wasn't really acting for a lot of the shit. Like, after he got through his, like, I'd say after he got through the Iron Man trilogy where he went through his arc, he was kind of just Robert Downey Jr. for better or for worse. But he was like, it's
and
still
we accepted
good.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it did other shit, right? Other things changed for the worse because of that. Like, and it is what it is. But fucking just in general, like being able to play something so hard that it alters everything around it it says something. That alone sends its own message.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to popular music and pop music specifically, even there's some really good people out today. I think Billie Eilish's first album was really good. I think Sour was way better than I expected it to be, the Olivia Rodrigo album.
I still don't listen to it. I just don't like her sound. I don't like her vocals. That's really what it boils down to. I don't think it's bad.
Fine.
I just think I am not the target demographic.
No, and then that's fine. I even think that that one Justin Bieber album that released, the one that had Love Yourself,
Dude,
that one was
modern
okay.
Modern Justin Bieber is really good. He has a lot of hits.
Yeah,
it's good. He has a lot of good shit.
And obviously,
fucking, like the The only two pop artists that I really like, one of them is definitely gonna get me flack. But there's only two pop artists that I just like don't respect, at least their modern shit, and that's the 1975 and current Drake. Current Drake feels like every song he releases is just farming a TikTok.
Yeah, and it kind of definitely is, because I think Drake is motivated way more by the numbers nowadays than he ever has been.
Because like I forgot that old Drake went crazy, because like I got so used to new Drake that like an old Drake came on in my shuffle, just like from like Spotify recommending, and I was like, oh, this sounds good as fuck. Who is this? And then I registered what I was listening to, and I go, oh shit, he made good music. He made really good shit. And say what you will about it now, like fucking, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I just don't. I like it's one of those things where like those are the two artists that I just think are far and beyond overhyped.
And I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't necessarily disagree. I super agree with the Drake take. Like
my thing with the 1975 is they just know four chords and have written those four chords for the rest of their life. At least Arctic Monkeys, which I don't fuck with anymore because I was fucking 15, you know. But like fucking at least Arctic Monkeys, their one bass line goes hard. But the 1975, no four chords and that's it. And it's like you can only do so much with with fucking 16 max combination, you know?
Yeah. And maybe this is like playing my cards a little bit too loudly and my biases, but like we have Bruno Mars today, and I'm not sure how many people understand how great Bruno actually is.
He's so fucking amazing. Fucking Soul Train, then the fucking Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak shit. Is it Paak or Pac? I'm speaking out of my ass right now, but
I say Paak. I've heard a lot of people say Paak.
Okay. But fucking like that like combo is fucking unparalleled. It's so good. I love it.
And I'm gonna be honest.
I listen to it on repeat. Every time I get in my car and I'm putting on music, I just put Anderson .Paak on shuffle because most of the time it's gonna put
Silk Sonic.
Like I said, it's gonna put Silk Sonic on.
Yeah. And Anderson .Paak, he's like kind of pop, but like he hasn't really blown up in the way that like you'd think he would. He's phenomenal too.
His fucking range, of like fucking listening to Leave the Door Open into Smoking Out the Window into Jules is fucking whiplash, and two of those songs are in the same album.
Yeah, and like he had a feature on Bandana by Freddie Gibbs, and he rapped his ass off, you know.
Oh yeah, he can rap. Fucking, I don't remember the name. I will pull it up.
I mean, he raps often
with fucking Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I know. Was it on? It was on Compton.
I listened to it. It was ETA is the name of the song, and the album is. It's a single. It was a single.
Oh, okay.
It was ETA, and it was fucking Snoop Dogg, Busta Rhymes, Anderson .Paak, and Dr. Dre. And it's a good ass song.
I mean, and those are greats, you know, and he keeps up.
Yeah, no, they're all greats, and they're fucking and because of the difference in all of their vocal styles, you get such a good range of how they sound.
Yeah. And just to tie it all back together, just because I see the opportunity, contrast was also a super, super big thing for us when making Tomorrow People specifically. I don't know if you've ever heard my album. It's okay if you haven't. It's called Maybe Mama Was Right.
Yep.
It sounds nothing like the South Side at all. Yep. But me and Chef together made Tomorrow People, which sounds like neither. But something that was really important to us is that we have some differences in our voices all the time. Mm-hmm. And to your point, if you listen to X3, which is probably, I personally think that's the most accessible, just because, you know,
I can see that too. It's between that and Coma Theory. I think that for the rest of the songs, like the other songs, I don't think there's two songs in the album I don't think there's a song more accessible than Coma Theory and X3.
Yeah. This Chef was like, hey, I'm going to try a new delivery, and it's going to be a deeper voice. And I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do a higher voice. So, I mean, you hear my voice right now.
Yeah.
But on X3, I'm like, how you can't even rap in whatever I say, you know. I'm talking in a pitch way up here.
Yeah.
And then Chef comes on the track and he's like, oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is what he does. Fucking, yeah, no, exactly. I think the way you guys rap, the way you guys perform your lyrics is so deliberate. And I think there are some choices where, yeah, Chef sounds like Patrick on a song. But that's his choice. And it's very clearly what he's going out for, right? Like,
yeah, not necessarily Patrick. He's not hopping on
no,
the track.
I know.
About...
I don't mean he's hopping on the track going lee lee. I mean he's fucking like he deliberately is choosing how he wants to sound. It's not I don't have range. I don't have this. It's this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then you guys set out to do that deliberate option. And I respect the fuck out of that. I like the style you guys go for and how it sounds. And I think I think both of you have proven with this, you have a more popular, accessible delivery, and you have a delivery that's going to be one of those deliveries where it's like, I don't fuck with this the first time, and you listen to it again, it's like, oh, actually, I was wrong. And it's like, because you have those, you got growers and you got showers, and I think you guys have proven that you can do both. And I think you guys know what's quality and what isn't quality, and you know that not every song is for everyone. So if someone comes out saying it's ass, that probably wasn't for them, and it wasn't for them. But you guys have found your audience. Like I said, when I listened to the song the day after it came out, and then the week, it was 10 days later when we recorded the podcast with Chef, and I looked because I was listening to it again, just refresh my memory on the album, Tomorrow People, and you guys had tripled your numbers in 10 days. 10 days, your numbers, your monthly listeners was tripled from fucking, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember it was specifically tripled, almost quadrupled. And it's like, so you guys have found like the start of your audience, and you guys have found what does work, but you guys aren't afraid to do new shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the difference between music and content creation, for lack of a better word. Is like, if I find a thing that works, I'm going to try and edit off of that thing that works. Because that's how the algorithm works,
And you know what? Honestly, if we were vying for popularity as our top priority and not the actual art, that would be a good strategy too. That's what Drake does. If you listen to a lot of Drake stuff, and like half of the stuff on Certified Lover Boy sounds like stuff he did before. The song with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne sounds like a carbon copy of the song he did with Rick Ross off of Take Care, Lord Knows.
Yeah.
The only thing different is Too Sexy, and I'm not sure if I want to respect that. But
yeah. I
Drake K decide.
Certified Lover Boy. I got 5 songs in and I couldn't.
It's really boring.
Yeah, it was just like, this is not for me. This is not. I don't want this.
I mean, DJ Academics fell asleep listening to Certified Lover Boy.
He did. I remember that. It was so fucking funny. Cause didn't he still dick right afterwards?
Yep.
He did. He did. And then people just posted the clip, fucking him just snoring, just snoozed, absolutely slumped at Certified Lover Boy.
And so there was actually this running joke that Chef was the Drake guy. He's probably not gonna like me saying this, but I don't really care.
I remember because I remember I remember that because I followed Chef on Twitter since he was the guy that shilled Pristine Being in Worst Way Possible.
Yep. Okay.
That
good. So
was
you do remember.
That was the era. I'm a bit of an old head on the Chef shit, Like, I listened to Southside on release, and I was like interested in it, and I was like, oh shit, this guy makes music. I'm interested because fucking like I listen to Pristine Being. It's not my style. I like a lot of the songs on it, but it's not like I'm not gonna listen to this album through and through every time, But fucking. Just in general, like I've been here for a while, so I remember the fucking. I remember the Drake guy shit. I remember Chef's partner at the time, I believe, was like you listen to Drake, your opinion is invalid. I remember a lot of people just getting on his ass about it, And he was like, because I remember he was the anti-Donda guy, right? He didn't fuck with Donda that hard. I know he fucks with Donda too, but I remember him saying like modern.
He loves
did not
Donda,
like Donda
too, but he
I
does
know he
not
loves
like
Donda too, but he did not like Donda. I don't
I'll
know
give
his
him some
opinion on
credit.
Donda Deluxe.
I'll give him some credit because I want to give him a fair shake at this. He says Donda 1 is a 6 out of 10, and he says that's not a awful rating.
Yeah, no, I mean like fucking modern media critic has rotted people's brains into thinking anything less than an 8 is dog shit. I mean, it doesn't help that fucking the school system works on a larger 1 to 10 scale where a 7 is a 70 is a C and C is bad, even though C is literally average.
Yeah,
like
literally.
But on a 10-point scale, average is 5.
Yeah,
average is 5,
or it should be.
Anything should be, and people weight their shit like fucking. And at the end of the day, like I'd rather watch a 1 than watch a 5. You know, I'd rather listen to a 1 or not listen because music's different than movies. But like I'd rather watch a dog shit movie than a mid movie. The worst thing a movie can be is interesting. Mid. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, or it's gonna be at least something you can make fun of.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather watch #Roxy than Endgame again. Fucking,
yep.
like Endgame was good, but it's not something I want to rewatch. Like it was fine, but like it rides hard on that shit. Like it's a 3-hour movie. I don't think it earns its 3 hours. #Roxy puts Fletcher from Ant Farm with a big ass nose, and he's a hacker, and he wants to fuck this one girl, but he can't because he needs a nose job because his nose is a foot long, and that's the movie. It's based on Roxanne, which was a fucking shit. I'm gonna get his name wrong. Please be the right guy. Steve Martin. Yeah, Roxanne was a Steve Martin movie. You know, everyone knows Steve Martin's the goat. He's a comedic goat. And it was a Steve Martin movie with the same premises of fucking this guy wanted to get with Roxanne, but he's a really big nose, and that's a problem. And it's a whole thing about overcoming your insecurities and showing that your person. And basically, the premise of the movie is he helps this other guy get with Roxanne because he thinks Roxanne doesn't want to be with him, so he lives vicariously through this other guy. He writes poems for this other guy to give to her. He like is interested in all the shit she's interested in, but she won't date me because I got a big nose. that's it. I got a big nose, and it's even worse in #Roxy because it's a modern reboot where he's a fucking hacker, and it's a modern high school, and everybody's on iPhones, and social media is a thing, and he doesn't have Instagram because he's got a big nose, and that's the fucking movie, and it's really bad. Oh, for some reason he skateboards too, and that's important to the plot later. But fucking, it's like it's just that, like it's that, and it's bad. Or Food Boy, The Adventures of Food Boy. Ryan from High School Musical gets superpowers that let him create food from thin air. He can just make food from thin air, just materialize it, but he doesn't want to, because if you've seen the picture of the blonde guy crying on the floor surrounded by bread, that's from Food Boy.
Oh yeah,
he's in a bathroom and he's surrounded by bread and he's crying. That's from Food Boy, and that movie's amazing. I bought that movie on Amazon to rewatch because it's one of those movies where it's so bad it's good. But something being mid is forgettable. Being mad is memorable.
That's the thing. When it comes to any content at all, your biggest enemy is being boring. They say all publicity is good publicity. And the reason that they say that is because if you get emotions out of someone, they will remember what you did to get the emotion out. If you don't elicit any emotion, you don't exist in their mind, basically. Yeah. And that's why Tomorrow People is so crazy, and it's so loud and it's so bassy, because after making The South Side, Chef wanted to show off his versatility. The South Side is a very emotional album, and if you listen to it and you understand it, you will understand that it's super emotional. And for me, Maybe Mama Was Right is like, it's not like a traditionally hip-hop album, but like it's not as adventurous. It's different from what comes out today in a lot of ways, but it's not as clean, and to be quite honest, I mixed it in a rush and it just doesn't sound as good as Tomorrow People.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, like, we all have things that we like at the time and grow to be less proud of. We don't think they're bad, maybe, but definitely, like, every person who's a big YouTuber now has their first video and they might not like that it's up still, you know?
Yeah.
Like fucking Dream, fucking Minecraft, fucking amazing guru of all. His first video is allegedly 2019. We know that's not his first video. He's obviously private and unlisted shit from before that. So like there's people will remove some of their old shit. And I've deleted videos that I don't like that much anymore. I uploaded weekly in 2020 up until like fucking November, December when I got super sick and fucking just had to get a new job and my schedule fell apart, right? And I've been trying to get back into the groove of it.
Yeah.
But I was uploading weekly. There are videos that I'm not that proud of. There are videos that I deleted.
And to your point, I think everybody has that story. You know, T, he used to go by a different name that I'm not going to say because it's still up and he might not want y'all to know, but
that's fair.
He was rapping, he made different beats, he made trap beats for jokes, and rapped.
He was a meme rapper?
A little bit. Not like
I don't mean like I mean like Zach
Fox.
I mean like Zach Fox shit.
Yeah, he wasn't taking it seriously.
Yeah. But at least he got that practice in, you know?
Exactly.
That built the baseline.
Chef's first album, in quotes, was just a bunch of remixes, and I'm not going to say the title because he hates it.
Oh no, he talked about that. Yeah, he did. He said, I want it to die. He's like, I want it gone.
Yeah, no, he wants it gone. I have it saved to my Google Drive.
Awesome. As one does. Everybody needs a little bit of dirt, you know?
Yeah. I actually
nothing better than he's pissing you off and you just link him a Google Drive link to his replies.
Literally. Not even like for anyone else. Just like he's making me
private
mad.
Reply.
Yeah, and
Make a burner, follow him, let him reply, let him respond. Just fucking see only that.
Just like quoting.
He's the only one.
Quoting a song lyric that's like really stupid and just like saying that at him.
That's the good shit. That's the good shit.
And for me personally, I had an album called Just Some Demos that was just like 20 demos that I had made from like 2016 to 2018. And a lot of them were okay. There were some really crazy ideas there. It was honestly had a bunch of experimental stuff on it, but I just don't want it to represent me anymore, so you can't find it. Yeah. Same thing. There was also another album called 2020 Experiments that Chef was like, no, this is good. You should leave it up. I'm like, it's not as good as I want it to be. I want my discography to be pristine and not in like the being sense, you know?
Yeah. I understand that. I think, given that we're in different spheres, I think I gain a lot of shit from having... semi-recently found a podcast I made with my sibling when I was 13. I am turning 21 in September this year. That's old.
Yeah.
That's nearly 10 years old. That we're coming up on 8 years. That's going to be a gold mine for later. That is going to be amazing to just watch after like when let's say my 23rd birthday, I watched that. It's 10 years old now. Fucking like watch a podcast I made that is 15 minutes long and we don't really talk about anything and it's recorded on my fucking iPad mini. And we made other episodes but just didn't get to do them because my parents kept walking in during the recording, so we had to start over because I didn't understand how editing worked because I was 13. and fucking so like, oh, we got to start the recording over, but like it's got to be at least 15 minutes long. Podcasts have to be long. And 15 minutes is really long when you're a kid. And we had guest episodes with our friend down the street. Who the fuck knows who that guy is? Why is he a guest?
Oh, that's know so cute.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I can't wait to watch that on stream or just fucking remake that bar for bar, beat for beat in a decade later or just anything with it. And my biggest regret is my freshman year in high school, I had a Minecraft YouTube channel. And I deleted it.
Did you delete it?
And I really wish I didn't fucking delete it. Because there's only like 4 videos on there. But it was one of those things where I didn't want the people at school to find it. And I was like, I even know this is bad. But like, I really wish I would have just unlisted it. I don't think I registered that you could do that at the time. But if I had the ability to go back and access that shit, it would be so amazing. Because I just raw dog deleted the whole channel. I've tried to find it. It's gone. Yeah. And it sucks because I really want to find it again because it would be really funny. Because I didn't know how to edit there either. So I would just one take Jake Fucking let's record Minecraft parkour in 10 frames a second because I'm recording this on an HP fucking quick smart laptop.
Yep. I also I had a YouTube channel that had probably about 1,000 subscribers back in the day. It I did Minecraft YouTube videos. I had an entire Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 up, and Super Metroid. I had video game reviews. It was like I had Smash clips and Smash combo videos.
Okay, please
Awesome.
tell me this is still up. Please,
It's not.
I need to see it.
It is
I
not.
That's the
need
worst
to see
thing.
this,
That's the
dude.
worst thing is going through that phase where you're like, I gotta get rid of this carbon footprint or whatever, or fucking
Literally.
digital footprint. It's like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? The biggest thing is don't delete your old shit. Like unless it's like real fucked up shit or whatever, don't delete it. Like leave it. It's funnier this way.
Nah, and like low key, the worst part is that there were definitely some parts I was kind of spitting. I was kind of talking my talk. I was like, Super
That's the
Mario
worst.
Bros. 1 has not aged that well. Like, you
That's
go,
what
man.
I'm saying. This guy gets it. This guy gets it. That's facts. Fucking Gen 1 is dog shit. There's no reason to go back. Play Fire Red instead.
Literally.
Nah, man, I like my bitrate, my 4-bit rate, white and black color, man. Okay, you know what?
All right, Turbo. I mean,
My
at least
Mr.
Gen
Game &
2
Watch.
has good sprite work.
Gen 2 does have good sprite work. Gen 1 sprite work is atrocious. Like, Golbat
so
does
bad.
not look
Dude,
It's
real.
insane.
Dude,
It's actually so crazy how ugly Gen 1 looks. If the I don't think Pokemon would have worked as hard as it did if the anime didn't come out at the same time.
No, it needed to.
Like, it needed the anime because you had no idea what you were looking at. Your imagination couldn't do all that. There were 3 sprites for fucking Pokemon in your party, like on the mini sprites.
Yeah.
There was like
And it
4
was
sprites.
literally
maybe.
just like a
And
dragon.
it was like
and
just
like,
a guy. Yeah,
yeah,
a dragon,
guy
a
and like a turtle.
Kangaskhan.
I remember at
Yeah.
like 5 years old, I had Pokemon Red and also like Emerald, and I thought like Geodude and Red and Emerald were like different Pokemon because they just
Yeah.
looked so different and weird.
Yeah. Man.
Fucking-
All right. I'm
yeah,
supposed to be
no.
plugging my music. I'm supposed to be plugging the music.
Yeah, okay, really.
Well, try-
One
Yeah,
thing I
no,
wanted
it's-
to ask about.
But I was
Awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
Get us back on track.
Yeah.
Here, if you wanted to say anything beforehand, go ahead.
all I was gonna say is no, I didn't have anything to say.
Okay, well,
I don't even remember how we got the Pokemon.
I have something I have to ask. Where the fuck am I going? What is going on?
Dude, I
Where
have
the
not been.
fuck
I've just been
am I
kind of
going?
looking at it. All right, what do you? Show me your inventory. What have you done? We gotta figure this out. We gotta get you out of here. Get you out of this island. Okay, you have the troll dog. Go to the bingo hall. Remember, that's at the apartment complex.
Okay. Okay.
You're so lucky. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of Pop Tropica.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. You're a fucking nerd.
Yeah, thank you. It's hey, it benefits in some way. You want to be here for 3 hours? Okay,
Yeah.
if this takes you longer than it took you to beat Astronites, you're dude, toddler brain.
Oh no. Here. Okay,
But,
so what I wanted to ask. Something I shut the fuck up, Mason. Something I really. Can you tell we have like a running bit where we like
Yeah.
shitting each other?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
bit.
it's
Yeah,
my
that's
favorite.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'll
my
talk to you
favorite-
after the show, asshole.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of our relationship, right? I just get to be an asshole.
Sounds like a
no
married
consequences. Yeah, exactly. Basically,
Um,
said we fuck more than a married couple.
couple. Nice.
it's not great. It's pretty disappointing, to be honest.
You need to get your shit up.
I know. I'll work on it. So one of my favorite things in like beats, like I don't produce beats myself, but I do like listening to like just a shitload of different music. One of my favorite things in beats is like using vocals to replace like actual like maybe drum hits or like something you would use in a beat. Correct me if I'm wrong, the second half of Return Zero, a lot of that is the beat is just vocals, right?
The second half of
Return
Return.
Zero.
All right. So, I don't think of Return Zero and half. Are you talking about after the movie sample?
Yes.
Okay. So, I use
Oh no, sorry, not Return Zero. Execute program.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
yes,
That beat
yeah.
is almost entirely just vocals. It is
Yeah,
vocals, a high synth line, and a sub bass, basically.
gotcha. Can you like
Uh,
explain
so-
like how you go from like just like recording yourself into making into a beat?
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. Unfortunately, those are not anyone's vocals. That's a sample. But I have done that before, and I can actually go into that just for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, sure.
The process of that is kind of just the same as like just making a regular song, because I don't know if
You
this
have
is
that.
niche. Yeah.
That's
I don't
it's 60. What the fuck?
It's 066.
I'm not sure if y'all know how niche my interests can be niche sometimes, so this is probably niche knowledge, but I've listened to like Michael Jackson multi-tracks. So like isolated vocals, just the drums, just the background harmonies. And something that
That's
he
so
did a
sick.
lot was he would start his conception of the drum beat by just beatboxing it. So like if you listen to the first part of like Return Zero, that drum pattern is absolutely insane, and it came from something that I beatboxed into my phone.
That's sick.
That's
And I replaced the sounds with drums, and maybe very low in the beat you can still hear my beatbox, but I doubt it. But that for execute program, that's a sample I've been waiting to use for years. I love harmonies and acapella harmonies. If you listen in Coma Theory right before my verse starts, it goes Coma Theory, Coma Theory, Coma Theory, Coma Theory.
Right.
That's me. I'm singing that, and it's a chord, right? And I just think it's fun. I think it's silly. That is the demo of Beat It.
No.
the
Really?
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson song.
Yes. And he's still saying Beat It. If you go back and listen to Execute Program, the second half of it is the demo of Beat It, where he only had the chorus, but he had all the chorus harmonies and he had the melody and just some of the lyrics. You will be able to hear it now that you know, if you listen to it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
never gonna not be able to
yeah.
hear that. Yeah.
I mean, that's what going back to is the first time I listened to the album, I thought I thought it was look into the pattern never ending. Wait, no, that's the right one, isn't it?
That is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
right.
what
Look
it is.
into the
into
pattern
a
never
pattern
ending.
never ending.
Look into a pattern never ending. Fuck, I thought it said something different. I can't remember exactly what I misheard it as, but I misheard it, and I thought it was something different. And then you hear the last song and the last shit, and it's clear as day, and I go,
Yep.
oh, that changes my thought of the entire, like that changes my vision of the whole album. Like that changes how I see everything.
It crystallizes it, and because it's a loop,
no, it puts the glasses on.
It's
Because
a
exactly, it
pattern,
loops.
right? A pattern never ending. That is the definition
Yep.
of a loop.
Oh, it's look into the pattern of the ending, I think is what I heard. I was like, look into the pattern of the ending. And it's like, obviously, I have bad ears. I'm partially deaf in one ear. So that's on me. I don't even, I'm going to go on a limb and assume that you didn't intend for it to be so, like, mishearable that, like, people could misconstrue as something else.
I did want to obscure it.
Okay.
So at the beginning in Hello World, I did not want it to sound extremely clear.
Yeah.
Except the little part after the very loud build-up in Hello World, that part I wanted to be kind of audible, but I just kind of wanted it to feel like a grand entrance, you know?
Gotcha.
And Chef did too, because at first there was no intro to that song. And then he was like, we should make an intro. And I was like, you're right. And so we made that intro. And something interesting to note, we made this entire album over Discord.
Yeah, I know. They did mention that. And that's insane to me. Recording a podcast over Discord is tedious as fuck
It's
already.
hard enough,
I can't imagine making an album out of it.
Yeah, this is a little late to mention it, but I live in Texas. Chef lives in New Jersey, right?
Oh shit, I didn't realize Chef was that close to me. I live in Northern Virginia.
Ah.
Fucking yeah, no. That is a big distance for you guys to cross.
Yeah. So this
Did you guys
album was-
Photoshop yourself into the fucking album cover?
No. We,
Okay, so you did meet in person. Cool. I was
I
gonna say,
haven't
wait,
met
is
him
the
in
album
person
cover
before.
fake? I had the idea that you guys like had met in person. I assumed it was like a work conflict thing, or just like a fucking like you guys lived like across the state or something. Like you guys knew each other younger or something like that. I didn't realize Texas to Jersey. That's a big fucking gap.
Yeah.
It's a huge gap. I go to school in Pennsylvania, so Actually, in
Gotcha.
Philadelphia,
Wow, okay.
which is close to Jersey, right? We know
That
that
is very
tri-state.
close to Jersey. Yeah,
Yeah.
Philadelphia
that's
is
when that-
fucking Philadelphia's close to everything for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah,
it
it
shouldn't
is.
be.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I could just like it's like, oh shit, I could just drive to Philly and like it's less than a day trip. Fucking, but no matter where I am, you can always do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Next
It's,
Airbnb in Philly.
Yeah.
It's it was a process, but it was a great process. I shared my screen a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And that is how Discord works. Somebody's got Nitro, I guess.
No, not even. It was me on my crappy little MacBook from like 2 years ago, that I got from the school, that I installed FL Studio on.
That was what I wanted to ask too. Is what do you mix on? So you use FL Studio?
Yeah, I use FL Studio to
Cool.
record in, to mix in everything, because I started really young
Gotcha.
and that was the most accessible one.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I didn't pay for it. I pirated it.
No way. No
Not
way.
the
I
current
would've-
one, but as a kid, because I didn't have the money, right?
Yeah.
But the creation of the album was really a labor of love in that way, you know? Obviously we hope to reach
Obviously,
ears,
you had to put. It was tedious.
but
You
like,
really got to put effort into that.
yeah, if me and Chef lived like close to each other, the album probably would have been like twice as long.
Yeah.
Just because we would have been working on it idly.
Yeah. Do you think, or not? Do you think? Was there any song that you just had to cut because it would have been too tedious or too difficult, or just wouldn't have worked over Discord?
We thought about it. We thought about Return Zero, but specifically Execute Program. We thought about Execute Program and we were like, how is this going to work? We genuinely had no idea because we're trading bars, you know?
Yeah.
Especially at the end, because I'm like, literally we go 2 bars at a time. I go, the world's choking, the world's hoping. And then Chef is like, but they say it's your fault. They put your finger on the button. I'm definitely misquoting him.
Yeah,
but
you're all good.
it's literally like 5 seconds. So that's one audio file after another. That is not something that we could do around one mic, or hell, even something that we could just walk into the room with and record. That took an entire night, like 3 hours of sending audio files back and forth and getting the delivery right. It was an endeavor. But
Yeah, I know. They did talk about that.
Yeah.
That sounded awful. That sounded insane.
But hey, we did it. We finished it. It sounds
Yeah,
good.
you got it. You did it. You've
Turned out
accomplished your
fucking
goal.
great.
It
And
did turn out amazing. Big fan.
the
Big Tomorrow People guy.
the entire process of that album opened us up, like, mentally, of like higher aspirations of what we can do in music. Like, how polished can we make it, and how detail oriented can we really get. And so with stuff like Make It, if you hear it, there's stuff that like neither of us have really done before. Not specifically me, but Chef specifically. You can hear doubles on his take, you know. You can hear him like rapping a second take over some lines to emphasize the lines, and it sounds really good and it hits harder. And going forth with Philo Fridays, the mixing is going to be even better. The songs are going to be varied. The next one that's coming out, I'm going to leak it to y'all, not the sound, but the name. It's called Shining.
Word.
I produced it.
Sick.
Doesn't sound like Tomorrow People, unfortunately, but it's a chill song. It's kind of a vibe song,
Yeah.
with some bars in it. I'm rapping on it. T's rapping on it. Chef might rap on it.
Is this the first time we'll have heard T rap on something?
It's not. The first time will be the second time, but the first time is on the Philo Pristine remixes, on
Gotcha.
the remix of Taking Trains. Which, if you haven't heard the remix of Taking Trains, go give it a listen. I remixed the beat almost entirely. The verse beat is still mostly the same, but it has an entirely new chorus. It still has Dez on it, and Lean was on the first one. We didn't get him on the second one. He said he didn't want to really do it again because, you know, he just didn't have it in him. Lean's been in some situations recently, but he'll get through it.
Yeah, it's all good.
But it's really good. Philo is really going up. It really genuinely is.
Yeah. Philo stock moving up in the world.
What else can I say? Be on the lookout for new releases from not just me or Chef, because, you know, Philo is a team effort. We're gonna have something Lean produced for Philo Fridays too. We're gonna have different types of songs. Chef is releasing something very, very soon, as a solo act that sounds nothing like Southside. It's just a lot of stuff to be excited about.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Philo fan. Philo stock going up in the world.
No, like massively.
Exactly. Fucking
And it,
not just 3 of the upgraph emoji, 5,
like
7
5 of
even.
them,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
even 8.
7 of them, and the fucking, you get the Google keyboard and you put 200 emojis and then it makes a big 1,000 emoji. That's how we feeling. You know what I mean?
Perhaps with a little big red exclamation mark at the end.
Exactly. The double exclamation mark. Big fan of that one.
That one's kind of crazy, low key.
Yeah, dude, the red exclamation point and the red question mark is probably my favorite emoji. It's gotta be.
Yeah,
It's so
I
good.
call it.
Using
it's called the
that
interrobang, but I love it.
Interrobang? What?
Yeah,
Is that
it
literally
is.
what it's called?
That's literally what it's called.
That makes me love it even more.
2 R's.
Interrobang? 2 R's? Dude,
Yeah.
holy shit. That goes hard. That just, as a word, that goes hard.
Okay, so
That's
interrobang,
awesome.
The interrobang is technically the combination. Like, it is.
Oh, that's the one where
mark,
I can do that. Yeah, no, I can do that on my phone, I think. I have the ability.
the
to
question
fucking-
mark over the exclamation
That's all. I'm also a big fan of that one.
mark. But if you
I do
type
that one
in
all the time.
if you type in interrobang, like colon in Discord, it'll bring up the exclamation point and the thing.
That's phenomenal. Have you used the fucking air blower?
Yeah, I saved. That's how I got the troll.
Okay, I wasn't. I didn't remember. Fucking
I was gonna take his power out, but I guess not.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Y'all got any other questions? I don't have to go. I'm just asking.
No, I think we basically hit everything. I'm trying to remember what the problem is my brain still has like or tomorrow people associated with what I already talked to in general. So I'm trying to remember, like, reading through this shit, I was like, oh, did I already ask that today or did I ask that a week ago? I think we talked about it kind of, but what song took the longest to produce? Because since you're the producer, it takes a lot. I not necessarily every time, but I'm gonna assume that a majority of the time it takes a little bit longer to produce a beat than it does to write a verse, just because of just because I think there's a little bit more of it that goes into mixing than writing. Even though I'm worse at writing lyrics than I am at making beats, I can't write lyrics to save my life. I have a decent flow, I'd say, but fucking actual like making beats just comes significantly easier to me than making lyrics for shit. I just don't have a lyrical style, maybe, and that's probably a little bit of it. I don't have a defined style for lyrics.
So okay. So this is a very bronze question. There's a bronze question because I make beats and I write lyrics.
Awesome. We come to the right guy.
Literally. It's been
What the fuck?
What is going on?
Manny and the dude, every time a scene changes and Manny's doing some fuck shit.
Yeah, holy. Okay,
That's how Manny is in the actual
That is
books
how
too.
he is.
He's
bronze
always doing
question.
some BS.
Oh,
But,
it's at the laundromat. Okay.
what was I gonna say though? It's difficult for me. It can go either way, but specifically on Tomorrow People, the lyrics came much easier than the beats because we were looking for a sound. We had the concept down pretty much pat before we made any of the beats. You know, so the lyrical concept of being from tomorrow, from having a mission in the future, from like, you know, creating like lore and like a background that like, you know, the future is not good and we came back to the past to like try to fix it. And that we do that kind of through rap. Like that entire idea was set in stone before we made any beats. And, you know, Chef isn't a producer, but he is one half of the Tomorrow People sonically as well. He will tell me like what he wants to feel with a beat. Sometimes he'll give me a sample. Sometimes it'll just be like a couple of words, and I go off of that, and I very much respect it. And here's how I look at it. For specifically the Tomorrow People, the way that I was able to put my touches on, I didn't have to say anything because I'm physically making the beats. So the little bronzisms will come out anyway. You hear that in the way that I chop vocal samples because I chop them very erratically and very quickly, almost like they're drums. So if you listen to like the last half of Execute Program, the vocals almost sound like drums in themselves because he's going dum chick wah wah. Like it comes with almost every drum hit. Same thing with Return. But he would tell me exactly like a feeling he wanted. He said he wanted like X3 to be like kind of a more standard beat, but still have like some groove, some bass to it. He didn't want it to be like a trap beat, but he wanted it to have like kind of like almost a bob your head type of thing to it. And I ended up interpreting that as like having like the little triangle in it and having like the hi-hats not be like but rather like
Yeah.
and just little stuff like that. You know, I might be getting a little bit too into the weeds, but we looked for a sound way longer than we had to think over the lyrics, to consider the lyrics. We wrote the lyrics for a lot of these songs often in a day or two. And me and him at this point, we're like seasoned enough that we write lyrics and just kind of think of the flow while we do it. We don't have to think about it separately. For like a good example of that, for my verse in Coma Theory, right? I open up the song, I go, what's the difference between a bitten and Adam tipping over the chalice, Alice in Wonderland and Dorothy in a ruby red palace? That is a tongue twisting flow.
Yeah.
And generally that's not something that most people are going to do because, well, I mean, it's just kind of weird to be frank. But that was the goal with Coma Theory. We wanted to just like, wanted to be weird, not necessarily off-putting, but just like, we wanted to give people the feeling of like, it's us. And we're just like talking our talk, you know?
No, absolutely. I think with Coma Theory specifically, the thing that gets me isn't just the beat. Like the beat's good, but it's my favorite vocals. It's my favorite vocal delivery of the album. Not necessarily lyrics. Like there are other lyrics that I think mean more to me in the album, but the vocal delivery specifically is phenomenal. The way you deliver that shit, the tongue twister, and then the thing that sticks with me forever is the look what I did. And that shit fucking gets me.
It's so
that
good.
shit, it's so good. And it's like, it is so like, I have to ask, I can't believe I forgot to ask this. Did he take it like that? Or is it a different cut? Where it's, look what, and then you cut it. Damn. I was going to say, because I've tried to do it, and I was like, that's hard. That's really fucking hard. There's no way.
It's not impossible, though. Look what.
I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
But like
Just
the way,
look
the
what
speed
I
of it.
did. Yeah.
The speed of it is what I mean. Just look what I did. And like, but like, it's so hard to change because you have to like consciously change your tone and your like voice level, and like the way it takes, because it's just because he's rapping at a very high pitched voice, and then he goes to a normal talk voice, and that's such a big change that it's very difficult, at least for me with no practice in it. It's pretty difficult to keep that speed with a change in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's a tonal tongue twister, you know. That's why I fuck with it so hard. It's just the tongue twister followed by the tonal tongue twister. It works, even if it's movie magic.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. He can do it in real life.
I believe he could do it. I just think that like it just sounds the best like cut immediately.
And it would sound pretty much the same, but the way that happened, he gave me two different takes, and he was like, "Which one of these sounds better?" And I was like, "We should like." I used the high pitch one on the first half because I was like, "Okay, this is good energy," and he was on screen share when I cut into the lower pitch take for that one line. So that was like,
Oh,
that,
so it wasn't initially intended. It was supposed to be, look what I did.
it was supposed to be
Oh,
completely
that's so
high
sick.
pitch.
Yeah.
Oh
that's-
my god, that's
I love
so
that.
crazy. That just sounds so good. I can't believe that was an accident.
It
Well,
wasn't an accident, but he didn't intend it like that at first. He was like, "Do something with this," and I was like, "Okay," and I had the
Fuck
idea
around.
to basically like change a line, like which line hits the hardest if I change it to a different delivery.
Okay. So you were
And-
shooting for that, but you didn't know which coin to flip. You had two quarters on the table. You didn't know which one you wanted to be heads and which one you would be tails.
A little bit. That is the most collaborative vocal moment on the album because, he had the vocals, but I had the choice of what to do with them. Because if I wanted to, he was like, "Oh, you can make it just all one of the takes."
Yeah.
But I was like,
That's
I
fair.
have two takes. I'm gonna use two of the takes.
I like that. I mean, at the end of the day, what you've spent the last 10, 15 minutes describing is going back to movie analogies is not, of course, it's not direct equivalents, but Chef is a director and you're the cinematographer.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
And like you're gonna, like, obviously you're both putting in work and you're both doing a lot, and it's 50-50. It's not, oh, because he's not producing, you're doing more than him and you're worth more than him or anything. It just comes down to like this was your passion project together, and you guys knew exactly what you wanted each other to do. But Chef isn't a producer, so he's not going to be doing the producing. And a lot of directors aren't cinematographers, but they know what they want it to feel like, and then they want it to look like and sound like. And you were able to bring that out because you guys had this project together as your own brainchild.
Exactly. That's exactly. And obviously, I wrote my own lyrics and stuff, but a lot of the concepts I'll credit to Chef because a lot of it was that concept. He just knew that I'm proficient enough in producing and in writing to make it a reality, and he valued my input and my ideas enough that he just trusted whatever I was going to do with the ideas that he gave me.
I love form of collaboration you guys have, where you're just able to like trust each other. To, like, hey, I think this guy can make the right decision in a project that we're working on together.
Yeah, no, it's like the opposite of what our shit is here, right? Like, I do all the work, and then Nazim shows up and takes the paycheck.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I have gotten nothing from the show, and it will amount to nothing. Except this episode. This episode will pop off, and then, like, afterwards.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
right off the Philo coattails, have them
yeah.
recur, and I'll just keep
Yeah,
farming them. I'm
right
the chef
right
to-
after, we're
to
going
Chef's
right back down.
Cusenius, or whatever the kids say nowadays. But yeah, do you have any closing statements? We're basically at that. We're at a little bit longer than 90 minutes. It's midnight my time, so I'm sure it's getting close to that time where you want to go to bed too.
So,
and
11,
you're
right?
sick, so obviously you're probably a little bit tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to close with? Listen to tomorrow, people. Listen to Make It Philo Fridays popping off. Is it going past March, or is it just going to be the next 4 weeks?
It's going to end on April 1st.
No
Okay.
shot. You guys are dropping a fool's verse.
We are, and it's not going to be
That
for
shit better be
fools.
funky.
I'll be there
Better be
for
funky
that,
though.
for sure.
Better be funky. All right. Yeah. No.
Here's
Great having
what
you
I'll
here.
say. My last thing. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all
listen to Philo. Listen to the South Side. Listen to Maybe Mama Was Right. Listen to Tomorrow People. Listen to anything that Tico's made, because Tico has made amazing instrumental albums. Listen to anything that Lean's made, because O2 Lean has made Grunt Mentality, and that was one of my favorite records that came out last year. Everything that's coming out of Philo is different, but it's all great, and we're all honest with each other, and we all appreciate everybody who listens.
Okay.
My last question is going to be: every Philo property, what is your favorite? What's your favorite one just song?
My favorite
What's your
song.
Philo song?
My favorite Philo song. Okay, so My favorite Philo song is probably, I'm gonna say My Attention Was Elsewhere, and that's off of the South Side.
Okay.
Because that beat is amazing and the lyrics are like harrowing but also triumphant. A close second would be Make It, because Make It is
All right.
fantastic.
Gotcha. And what's your favorite Philo song that you produced?
My favorite Philo song that I produced is either Taking Trains or the Closer remix.
Cool.
You can find it on my page, the Closer remix. That is a Tomorrow People
I
track.
fuck with
It
the
is me
Closer.
and Chef.
I fuck with the Closer remix. I did listen to that accidentally. It just came through Spotify Shuffle one day. Like, this Fox, what is this? Oh, I know these guys.
It's so fire. I
It's
will
so good, it's so good.
unapologetically say that both of our verses go crazy. Even if
Okay. Is that your favorite verse that you've done?
no, the favorite verse that I've done has not come out yet.
Sick.
Ooh,
I'm excited
okay.
for it. Is it I'm assuming it's a Philo Friday?
It's a Philo Friday. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll just have to. We'll clip it here. I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna save this, and then I'm gonna quote retweet. You're gonna DM me which one it is when it comes out, and I'm gonna quote retweet it with this clip, and it's gonna be your
will.
favorite verse.
will.
Exactly. See,
Yes.
and that'll get people coming back to listen to this, getting more Philo shit back in the eyes.
And back to y'all.
Exactly. We're gonna be here weekly. We took a break week because we had that technical difficulty like 2 days before the episode was supposed to go live. So obviously it would have been a hassle and incredibly difficult with everyone's scheduling. You know,
I don't know
we have.
why Dream.
I think three of the people, because originally we were gonna do all four of us, right? We were gonna do Brent Bronze, Chef, MildlyMild, Mizan. We're gonna have all of us on the fucking track. But three of them are in college. You're not in college right now, right?
No, I'm on a break currently, but I'm gonna be in college.
You're
in
on
like
break.
3 months, so
Exactly. Well, you're on break. So two of them are in college, I believe. Is Chef's in college, right? I think he said
Yeah,
Chef's in college.
Chef's
Okay,
in
yeah.
college.
I knew he said one of you was in college and one of you was a full-time job and college. And I work 40-hour plus a week, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's a hard schedule to work around everyone else. Fucking so it just wasn't possible to get out last week, but we got this week out. This will be going up Sunday, sometime around 3 p.m. EST. I'll get all the shit made, get it all mixed, edited, etc. But great having you here. We talked more about. I think we did stray off a little bit more than we did with the Chef episode. But we also, I think we brought it back and we're able to cover a lot more broader things. We talked a lot more about Philo, because we still had that Tomorrow People stuff fresh in our mind, and Tomorrow People's a little bit older now, and now you literally had a new song drop today as of recording. Today is the first Philo Friday, so like it made more sense to talk more about Philo now than it did to talk about Tomorrow People. But we still got to cover everything. We got to start with Tomorrow People, go into Philo, go back to Tomorrow People, bounce back and forth, talk about the discography, get into the mind of the creator that is Brent Bronze, and that's where we're gonna leave it for the week. If you don't already, go ahead. Follow Brent Bronze on Twitter. Follow Tomorrow People and Philo on Spotify. All the shit will be in the links. I'll get Brent Bronze to drop me that shit so I can put in the description. And follow me on Twitter.
Follow Brent Bronze. It's just Brent Bronze. My bad.
Exactly. No, you're okay. At Brent Bronze. Follow him on Twitter. Follow at Mizan SSBM on Twitter. Follow me at MildlyMild TV on Twitter. I am currently shadow banned, where if you look up my @ it does not exist. You have to type in the @ manually and do the search for @ and it'll pull up my account. And then it will say that I have sensitive content on my shit because I posted Minecraft porn in the replies of a transphobe and got reported. I need to get that settled, but Twitter does not currently have an ability to... if your account gets permanently marked as sensitive content, there's no appeal option right now. It's easier to get unsuspended than it is to get unmarked as sensitive content. So every image, every link, every video that I post gets flagged with the sensitive content where you have to manually click show. It's so this just randomly fucking happened one day because some dude was being a transphobe and I put Minecraft porn in his replies, and I guess he has more followers than me and I got mass reported. I don't know, it just happened randomly out of the blue one day. Fuck if I know. But fucking yeah, follow the YouTube channel MildlyMild. This is where the podcast goes. We're working by the end of. We're breaking into seasons. You know, we got Pop Tropicast is the season. Everything after the colon is the season. We're not doing numbers. It's lame. So Pop Tropicast is the Pop Tropica season. We're doing Pop Tropica. Eventually, we're gonna run out of Pop Tropica islands, and we're gonna have to get into something else, and that'll be season 2. And the goal is by season 2 to have it on Spotify. It's not hard to get shit on Spotify. It's just a hassle to do for a partially visual medium, you know. So the goal, season 2, we're gonna be on Spotify with weekly uploads on Spotify on there and on YouTube. Probably Spotify a little bit earlier, just as a treat. And we'll post the past catalog to Spotify too. So you'll have a full season to binge audio wise by the time we get there. But that's going to be it for the night. We got a clean sub 2 hours episode. It was great having you, Mr. Brent Bronze. It was great talking about Philo, great talking about Tomorrow People. I'm more excited for Philo Fridays than I was before because, you know, can't talk much about Philo Fridays before the songs come out. You know, you can hype it up, but there's only so much you can say. We have a song out. We talked a little bit about it, talked about the producers, talked about the rappers, talked about Philo itself, and I'm very excited to see what more you guys have to bring from us. Do you have anything else to say?
Thank y'all for having me. It's been a great time. Pop Tropicast. Hope it goes on forever. That's all I got to say.
Only so many islands, you know. All right. It's been real. Mizan, you can go ahead and sign us off as you do every episode.
Yeah, every episode. Yeah, so this has been me, Mizan, and Mason MildlyMild, and Brent Bronze.
Bronze. My bad.
Brent Bronze.
Like Pokemon.
I'm sorry.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, thanks for listening.